If you bought a decent gaming PC to run AAA titles, you're most probably hitting the ultimate pair. RTX 40 series and i5 14th gen CPU and run like a beast. You hit a maximum of 127 FPS and a minimum of 78 FPS in 1% low. But what if I told you this is not the limit? What if I told you your GPU is lagging with higher heat and noise? I'm 4070 manager. In this department, I don't settle for factory settings. I'm going to take my RTX 4070 Ti Super to the next level. Grace, you are still using the stock weapon? You don't have upgraded gun? Check your inventory. Now, this is more like it. Push the core clock to plus 150 MHz. This makes the GPU calculate pixels faster and pushes your average FPS higher. Next, push the memory clock to plus 1000 MHz. This gives us better 1% low FPS and stability, effectively smooth out the stutter. Lastly, push the power limit to 107%. This raises the power ceiling for your GPU, allowing it to handle heavier workloads without hitting a power limit throttle. Now, why don't we go higher? Because we don't want diminishing returns. Pushing it too far might give us 2 more frames, but it risks a system crash due to instability. In this department, we value 100% stability and durability. We optimize, we don't break. And actually, my model is already factory overclocked, which leaves me very little room to play with. I'm going to show you how to undervolt in a moment, but first there is something you should know about overclock, otherwise you may put your GPU at risk. Do not adjust core voltage. This should be left untouched. It could potentially degrade your GPU. This is why I only push core clock, memory clock, and power limit. In core clock, pushing too far often triggers instant game crashes. However, it depends on your specific hardware. You can test a set of values, run benchmark tests and see if the performance score goes up, stop where it goes down or cause crash and instability. I usually use 3D Mark Demo benchmark to test. You want to find out what maximum core clock frequency your GPU can hit after pushing plus 150 MHz. So, when running the 3D Mark benchmark, pay attention to your core clock frequency. I got 2835 MHz at peak. Whatever value you get, note this number down. You are going to need this value for undervolting later. By the way, if your benchmark crashes, simply go back to Afterburner and lower down your core clock by 20 MHz each time until your test is stable with a good score. Need some try and error to find your sweet spot. While comparing the before and after overclocking result, allow me to continue with memory clock and power limit tips. In memory clock, if you push too far, it might not crash your computer, but it will start making tiny errors in the back end. The GPU will spend extra time correcting those errors instead, making your actual FPS go down. Same rules, run the benchmark test and find your sweet spot like how we do with the core clock earlier. As for the power limit, it is safe as long as your GPU stays acceptable temperature between 60 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. My MSI gaming slim card is no overclocking monster. Its power limit is slightly capped at 107%, comparing to overclock heavy models like Asus ROG Strix or MSI Supreme X, which can unleash a massive 120% to 130% power limit. For my gaming slim card, the absolute sweet spot where it hits a hard bottleneck if pushed any further is a conservative plus 150 MHz on the core clock and plus 1000 MHz on the memory clock. At this point where we done overclocking, the GPU works harder, giving us extra frames and smooth out stutters, but it generates more heat and fan noise. This is where undervolting comes in. It maintains the performance gain while lowering voltage, heat, and fan noise at the same time. First, on MSI Afterburner, press Curve Editor. Look along the bottom axis for your target voltage. For example, if you want to lock your undervolt at 990 mV, find 990 mV on the bottom line and look at the dot directly above it. Hold on, let me share with you something. Sweet spot for modern high-efficiency GPU is usually between 950 mV and 990 mV. During my first undervolt attempt, I experienced visual artifact and game crashes. I realized the cause was my voltage point. 975 mV simply wasn't enough to handle the overclock speed. Raising just a little bit to 990 mV completely resolved the issue. Now let's continue. Drag the dot vertically upward until it matches clock speed you know your GPU can hit after overclocking. Sweet spot for RTX 40 series is usually 2800 MHz to 2850 MHz. In my case, 2835 MHz. I got this value from the 3D Mark benchmark test earlier, remember? Hold Shift, click the empty space just to the right of your dot. and drag all the way to the right to highlight the rest of the curve. Drag them all down to the bottom. Click Apply on Afterburner. You will see the rest of the curve line has been flattened. Now you will find your core clock slider becomes curved and you are officially running a perfectly optimized, highly efficient overclock and undervolt profile. To make Afterburner apply this profile automatically every time you turn on your PC, click Startup button until it turns blue. Hit the Save button, select one of your profile slots, and finally, press the Lock button. Now, what if you did mistake? What if you mess up your curve editor? Don't worry, this reset button will reset core clock, memory clock, power limit, and curve editor to original value. When done mistake, reset and do it again. Congratulations! You have done a manager's job. Now, sit back and enjoy your gaming with next level performance. For my RTX 4070 Ti Super Gaming Slim, overclocking and undervolting give me 2 to 3 FPS gain in native, and 5 FPS gain with the help of DLSS upscaling and frame gen. But more importantly, FPS gain while GPU stays cooler. 5 FPS gain? Like 5 more ammo for Leon Kennedy? That's more than enough!
We can mutate others.
Leon is at peak efficiency. He is not just killing zombies, he is executing their permanent removal. Why won't we grab some popcorns and beers?
Clear up the rest.
As you can see, I'm obsessed with graphic fidelity. I push every setting to max because I want the best visual experience possible. Now this is what I call high efficiency execution, corporate upgrade. By the way, if you run into another pair of zombies, sign me up, I can fix them. And stay for more tech fix and benchmark. Hit like and subscribe and catch up with us. See ya!